Oh, where you watch? Look where you watch. Know where you watch. Choose the right thing to watch. And this enough to watch. Sticky Stucky Sweet TV with Keith Gargan, Facebook and YouTube. And that enough to watch. The movie star fly take off from Palpatine TV said that. Boom!
A big sound, a play a big tune.
Ja oli Emmanuel I woy Ja Gideon I'm a Gideon The Gideon I'm a Gideon The Gideon I'm a Gideon well Gideon go bustin' out them head again. So much oppression poor people face right now. Them crying out for freedom. Them crying out for free speech. Then said them want to stand up like them black liberators, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther and the ancient monarchy where come pave the way, sir. Free up black people from me tear down them fence, yeah. Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon, well, the Gideon go bustin' out them head. I listen, I see, I the power of the Trinity. Give us the teaching of His Majesty, and we know war, not every...
Blow, Mr. Gargan, blow! Blow till me dance up me toe!
This is Sticky Stucky Sweet TV with Keith Gargan. Good, healthy food with the X Factor. So give it a like, share, subscribe, and touch up that notification bell. And that is it. Look at that.
Outrage was going on, And I'm bringing the state of emergency. Remember, some people just dead about 2 incidents happened right under the nose of the security force, At the state of emergency. Remember that, people?
Now, Salt Spring, for those who know, was one of the more dangerous communities, probably in the country. And for 3 or 4 years, they had experienced peace. Comparatively, our scheme of penalties for these crimes and these acts of terror is very light.
Deliver me from my enemy, my God. Set me an eye from those who rise up against me. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity. Save me from the bloodthirsty men. For behold, they lie and wait for my soul. The mighty gather themselves together against me. Not for my disobedience, not for my sin, Lord. I have done no wrong, yet they are ready to attack me. Rise up, behold, and help me. You, Lord God of Armor, the God of Israel, rose yourself to punish the nation. Show no mercy to the wicked, treacherous Selah. They return at evening, howling like dogs, and prowl around the city. Behold, they spat with their mouths, soda in their lips, for they say, Who art us? But you, Lord, laugh at them, you scruff of all the nation. O my strength, I wish for you, for God is my high tower. My God will go before me with his loving kindness. God will let me look at my enemy in triumph. Right there, sir. Don't kill them, or my people may forget. Scatter them by their power, and bring them down, Lord, our shield. For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let there be catch in their pride, for the curses and lie which they utter. Consume them in wrath, consume them, and they will be no more. Let them know that God rules in Jacob to the ends of the earth. Selah. At evening let them return, let them howl like a dog and go around the city. They shall wander up and down for food and wait all night if they ain't satisfied. But I will sing of your strength, yes, I will sing aloud of your loving kindness in the morning. For you have been my high tower, a refuge in the day of my distress. To you, my strength, I will sing praises, for God is my high tower, the God of my mercy. Up and running, up and gunning. Sticky Stucky Sweet TV, Keith Gargan. Cassava, passava, man over matter, up and running. Yeah, man. Right now, boy, I have to dig up some, because I like to dig up things, I like to bore up holes in things, drill hole in things. So I'm going to dig up a press briefing from 8th of November 2023. That's about 5 months now, right? And that was pertaining to, remember this 2 little school youth will get shot up in the taxi and things like that, because they never proactive, and prevent that from run up, but them come out proactive now and attack over a lot of shit and call a state of emergency again, because they have no crime plan, and them are trying to defend it. And all this prime minister that like a spin doctor, horrible spin doctor too, you know. Cause yeah, spin doctor were good, you know, where them neat. And when them spin things, it sound like the real thing. But things spinning is all over the place. You can't know a lie, I tell. Because he might try to talk about when people ask him some hard question about state of emergency, rate and lele. He must say, oh, and I give you some figures. I pick some figures out of the year. Believe you me. And believe you me, from 8th of November, you know. After that over, and this state of emergency come over the street. But I remember, you know, when the state of emergency was there, in them time when them two youth get murder, you know, in the taxi, and a lot of outrage was going on, you know. And then bring the state of emergency. Remember, some people just dead about 2 incident happen right under the nose of the security force, you know, at the state of emergency. Remember that, people? 2, what we can remember, happen right, just them just up the road, there's a few chain, and double murder commit just down there, so. So, and yet this man come and attack like say him solve it, and so the amount of people were dead since then in a Montego Bay. So you see them now have no clue what them talk about, you know. And this piss me off, you know. And I see a lot of things. When I see people like Horace Strong, Google Gaga, the one in here nasty Nesta Morgan, come out and a pretty up thing, does presentation, photo up, and all these fucking thing. And him can't answer good critics' question, right? Him try to defend the Hamas and Israel war when him vote against it. Well, you have to them vote against it, them abstain. So that means, well, then Israel get the benefit of the vote. It's going to the favor of Israel. It has nothing to do with Hamas. The people them who are dead. Like, well, not just the people them, you know, not the old people them alone, the kids them were slaughtered. And this man have kids too, you know. And this is how I try to show. So these type of people are some wicked and weird type of animal them, you know. And that's why I say, well, then, when we look up all Vegas too, you know, because I remember, you know, him try to defend Andrew Wallace Labour government by what him do. Because him not nothing to step on it. And him always have the big talk them. And him have kids as well. But yet him come talk about people, kids where, you know, abuse. Him like to jump up on that. Then abuse them people. Them people get more than abuse. Them kids are, them both are abuse and a murder. Straight up. And you say you have kids. Anyway, and you Vegas, me don't bother with you, you know, because you're a little, I don't know what you call you. Anyway, we are talking about this thing and now. So this man come and talk a lot of shit. Horace Strong talk a lot of shit. Google Gaga can't speak. Look like a clown. And them must try to justify the unjustifiedness. You can't do that. Because he must talk and tap himself in a lot of things. What the fuck him talk about? When people really tackle him on certain things. Me say the people them corrupt, till boy I don't know, you know. And them try to come up with pick some figures out of the year when it make no sense. He must come with some little slatter word, you know, an argument. When people ask him a question and he can't hear like him have fragment throat. Yeah, I tell you, you know, yeah, these people dangerous, you know. Everything they try to defend the undefendable, you know, people. Them can't answer because they defend what them do. And I come talk about Israel is their friend as well. Palestine have a community in Jamaica. Well, so what? That is not what we are talking about. PMP always. I would never vote would never abstain. Just like the rest of Caribbean them. Only people will lead by you, your nastiness. And you try to defend it. You can't see the guilt in their face, you know. I'm trying to make excuse when it's too late. You know, make no sense, people. So listening upon this Israel argument when people them ask him about it. And he hear him flatter and when I try to defend the undefendable. You know what I sense? Straight up, that none of them never man try to make excuse if them was there. All the Caribbean people them vote, country them vote. Whether them dead upon it, you see them know if vote, know find a way out to vote. Because it's technology time now, you know, blood clot need to dip on the spot or whatever. I fuck him up, fuck himself. You give me people, because me have a real, it just get me mad, you know. You know what I mean? And then I come talk now and pretty up things. And you can't see the guilt on him face, people. The wickedness. Yo, I'm tell you something, man. PMP will never do that. I'm going to come talk about Israel and Jamaica and nothing in common, you know. And that me I talk about all the while, you know. Me can't ever say that, right? There's no trade between Israel and Jamaica, but nothing at all. Israel keep themselves to themselves. Yes, you might have a little called Jamaica is a diverse its place. You know, and you have a Jew, some Jew community. Let's say you have Chinese community, you have Indian community, you have Syrian community. You have a little Jew community, but I know no Jew people them keep themselves to themselves and things like that. Jew people are really mixed. Just like Jamaica, England, America, you know, them you know, I go see Jew people at the rave where we are go. So that's my try to show you how them keep themselves to themselves. So nobody talk about those people. We are more inclined to South Africa 10 times more than Israel. Right? And let me tell you again, I'm going to repeat this. You're the first Prime Minister from Jamaica. I go to Israel. Which is you never get invited anyway. But somehow, you push up yourself, and then you come boast and come talk about no other Prime Minister in Jamaica visit the place where you visit. So where you get out of that? And that can put food on people's table. That can make Jamaica people who are suffer better off. You do it for your own benefit and your party benefit. And spend taxpayers' money to carry your delegate them and you idiot come below them on plane. Because you're not pay for it. So it's easy to talk, you know. Very easy to talk, but you're not paying for it. And this is the thing I can't understand, you know. If you go to Israel, nobody never invite him to Israel, you know. Is leeching and deal with some trade thing because you know leeching are the man with the money and things like that. And him a part of the cabinet where I don't know where some part of the cabinet where him deal with trade. So leeching I must say have a trade trip and things like that. And he find himself, nobody never invite him, you know, because he want to be popular, he want to be eggs up himself and use up the rascal taxpayers' money. Him and him rascal come go after the back of the taxpayers, you know, and fund them shit. And then I come boast now, talk about nobody now, no go to the place where him go and meet the people them where meet. What the fuck? So what? I don't know where all that come in. Because it don't make no sense. Either way, say that cannot make the people them better off in Jamaica. That now stop the people them who are hustle on the street. The police stop, beat them up, mash up them things, take you on them things and not get it back. All these things. You know, stop the police them from lockdown dance when people are hustle and poor people can't get for hustle in a lot of way. There's a lot of things, you know, stop the people them from getting water in them pipe, electric, bill double up, all them things. That's how the fuck you're talking about. Who you meet and where you go. What that have to do with Jamaican people who suffer? It's benefit to uno. So we can't talk about that. You know, none for the other people on the street. Some of them we are come talk about. Bullshit. And you come with a bagger talk when I make no sense. So, you know, me listen to this guy here, you know, man, me I say, boy, if something are wrong, if you know schizophrenic or whatever, or schizophrenic, what you call it, I don't know. In my head. And, you know, he's just a blood clot, a schizophrenic mad boy, in a clean clothes. And people don't see that something wrong with him. Because I know, you can campaign for so much good things with Jamaican people, sleep with door open, You want Jamaica to live, have them one place, live in a big house, rate and lay, one land. And when you're in power now, when you do the opposite fucking thing. Yeah, we blood fire. No. The man do the opposite thing and be like, I know things are catch up on him now. 8 years him in a power now, you know. And all the things when promised, what one him deliver. Him do something else whenever in a manifesto. All these needs all them things. And when I manifesto, and when him come in a power, him talk about them things there. Him waiting him pass the post first. Be sure this guy's a dictator and a wicked blood clot. This brother here. Right? None of what him talk about, you know. 100 days him say him gonna work and for make Jamaica have a fixed election date. I'll know. Sleep in the door open, never talk about that, you know. Really deal with the police and you know, make the police behave in the way when they're supposed to behave, you know. As what him say, because remember, you know, him say, and I feel leadership when him if him be prime minister when my campaign, you know. Police can't afford to come brutalize people. They have to give an account for it and all these things. And since him coming to power, what happened? The police brutalization and brutalizing worse in Jamaica. The amount of innocent people get shot socially in a COVID and nothing come out of it. The amount of people get boxed up and kicked up and broke up and nothing come out of it. Police just brutalize people left, right and center right before him eyes and him never come out or none of them. Or Strong, Google Gaga, never come out and address nothing. Because just take it on memory lane. Just remember that girl named King from Clarendon with them trim her locks. Instead of none of them come out, you know, them and condemn it, you know. Instead of them go the opposite them do. Them say well, a lie she tell. And them the police who do it all know you know about the police again. When the police that woman should sack, kick out of the force. As can't wait Andrew I say when my campaign, you know. And I just kick out of the force. Name and shame. Show a picture, but no instead of that them hide her and take her. We don't know what happened to her. You have the next one again with Donna Lee. Where she was a part of it as well, part of the shit. All who go on, I know she a part of it. And I can't talk that. I'm not afraid to talk that. I'm not busy with about it. She knows something. Right? But something come up, but now she doesn't want to hear about she again. Because once them involved in a certain thing and them in the police force, in any other country, them get kicked out, suspended, straight, simple and forward. Nothing to go around that. So, all of them talk and promise and all this shit is just falling upon deaf ears. I cannot say so this man is a very dangerous coot. Yeah, man. So everything him talk, him just a talk out of him big mouth, blow through him big nose, and I don't know if he can breathe any healthy air in that big nose there. Because boy, sometimes what come out of that man mouth and everything when breathe, it's not stop yourself. And him train up him minister them to do the same thing like Nestor Morgan, nasty Nestor Morgan. Him is the next one again. Because he's an ex-spin doctor too. And I'm learn about trade and trick and trade from Andrew Wellness. And talk about how can you call these people honorable when they're dishonorable. And that means I like, you know. But, you know, you need people really call them out as it is. You know what I mean? And, you know, the next thing again, you know, we want to talk about this, really, is a lot of crap going on, really, in the GLP-led government, you know, with all these ministers, you know, because they all singing off of the same hymn sheet. That's why them unite. Because them say them united around corruption. Because everybody will get rich. Everybody, that's how them just go with what's on the hymn. Or what is upon the hymn sheet. So they sing on a one hymn. Or otherwise on a one umbrella. That's how we see it. A very sad, sad and sickening situation. So, you know, me have to draw back for this. You know what I mean? Brief press conference from the 8th of November 2023. Cause it's just adds up with what I say I go on with election as well. Because these people don't have no regard to people. Them talk about things when I have nothing to do with poor people, you know. To make poor people better off, you know. And them are targeting big words where if you don't know. Because what I say, you know, them people are, you know, them just I don't know what they is. They are just a pre-active government. Yeah, when I say pre-active, I don't mean reactive. Just a reactive government. They do a pre-active. So I correct that because, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's a reactive government. Pre-reactive government. They don't pre-active at all. Only when the things happen, that's the time them pre-active. Yeah. Them wait till when things get out of hand. Because them take it to you there, like a baby youth, where school youth, the innocent youth will get dead. Everything was doing and having a crime plan and them things there. And really, but you know, they're no business about poor people. They're gonna come out and talk, as I'm saying, proactive when it done, when the job done, when it gone bad a morning, and it can't come back good a evening, and this is the type of government. And you know, people can't see that them still, you know, that's why I say, boy, I mean, I know, you know, these people, that's why I'm brethren, I keep on talking this now, you know, so I'm going on one of these meetings, because I'm used to vote Labour, you know. And say one of some of the most froziest people he will come across. Frozy. Because they pick up people from all about. That dump. You know what I mean? Dump type of rascal. And then you know you have film wife come call anyway PMP live. Anyway dump the PMP live there. So what I'm talking at the opposite all the while, you know, just like I do all this, you know. Anything him talk against the PMP is the opposite. Is what him do. Everything him talk and him can't see that. Sometimes him talk too much and him talk out himself out and when it make no sense. Yo, me tell you something, man. I don't know. It's just very, very serious, sickening and sad. But you know, as I'm saying, you know, it's a very interesting thing because I come say bug life, attack, become say, well, when I care what Fitzbailey attack because him a one next one again. Him if you roll in the barrel and if you put in a barrel and roll and I see him Fitzbailey because him a one poison. Him a one poison and it look like him suppose I come out of retirement now, but look like them want to pass the baton on to him now for the commissioner because this one have to go, you know. But then I want to sack him. They want to phase him out. And that them are do with people money and taxpayers money, you know. They don't have no regard, no moral about them. So Fitzbailey, very corrupted because he's a politician police. And with the only time you can get the police work properly in a way, although them really corrupted already. I don't know if them can come out of it unless them have to go abandon the fucking force and start again. Yeah, man. Because that's supposed to happen. If you start a force right now, disband the fucking force, right? And you're really serious and come out with a law. Anytime a police slip, he might get what the dog get. Although I don't remember what the dog get, I don't know what the dog get. But you have now. Him gonna get kicked out, no pay or pension, and will go to prison too, like in other civilized country. And once them do that, but before you do that still, you know, you have to open up a way where you can recruit a lot of police. Make them get good benefit, good pay, so they don't need to scam and do them fuckery. So once them get good pay, because all them pay want to take 300%, want to take for themselves. When they nasty blood clot, because when they're not doing nothing, when they're in a jacket and tie, and talk a lot of fuckery. You know what I mean? Talk a lot of fuckery. And the police will dip on the ground, boot up on the ground, and risk them life. When not risk them life, when a bodyguard all the while, when a back covered, police have to go out and do the dirty work. And now get the money, can't get them back money. So when you do something, that's why you turn a blind eye. Because that's why the force can't get better. Because when you allow them and say, look, when you don't pay them too much, and things like that, when they go and hustle, when you give them a free run, free range to do what they want to do. So how the force can better? It can't better. So you have to disband it and start again from scratch. Give them good pay. And all these rascals, when I say good pay, I mean good pay, good benefit, proper benefit so them can live in a good environment, house and things like that. And them not need have to fucking try to cut out that shit because enter and slip. And you're not going to really just talk and no action. You send them to prison, but now the police not go to prison again, no matter what they do. They just do them, and it's going from PMP time to, so I'm not going to really bias and go on like say, well, and just, this, you know what I mean? So that is the culture anyway. The amount of things that go on over the year with police. And me not see them go to prison. People are kill, police are kill baby mother with pregnant and walks free. Well, I tell you, But, people, it's get to me, so much. It's get to me so much. If you know where these people come from, and I try to go and I say, well, then, they own Jamaica. Because, people before used to go on away, not Manley, not Portia, not Pattison, Bruce Golden a little bit, Siago a little bit, but not like where this guy going on with now. Him take it to a level where, boy, it not pretty. It not pretty. And when you hear these people, you have to really say, no, sir. None can go, sir. Wicked thing are going. Yeah, man. So, this thing come out from the 8th of November 2023. And I say, I have to draw it back because when the man come, they just come, this is what them do. They just come out all the while. They just a reactive bunch of, I don't know if you call them, crabble house them. Yeah, they never pre-reactive and stop the thing them from happening. And right now in this same blog here, because the next thing, and this is for Ori Strong as well, and this is for the Commissioner of Police, and this for Andrew Wallace because them are the three main man. Because them not like illegal thing, them trying to fight against illegal thing. And me have to try to address this sometime all the while, and in a little blog them sometime, because you have now. Me want to know truly, all of these guns want to find since you don't come in power, 8 years now. Me not about to go back in a PNP time, That's about since you come out, talk about you come for land and all them things. You not deal with illegal shit and things like that. All of these illegal guns want to find and things like that, we pack up. Why not have these illegal guns stored up and nobody not decommissioning them and get them out of the system? Because them illegal. Them illegal. They illegal. Right? They're not legal firearms. When you find them on the street and you still have them pack up, where them want to do with them? Why? Something not right, people. And I'm not see nobody, I'm not see no blogger. I go up on them things there, I talk about them things there, and I forget about them things there. What as I'm saying, what I try to do, bore hole, drill hole. And I try to drill some hole and open up a little worm in a dish right now. Where's all the gun in the last year? A lot of gun these people find, Big fine too, All different type of rifle, ammunition, and some big machine, And those are illegal weapons. And this government say, well, they're not dealing with illegal things and they fight against that. So why them have this arsenal of illegal weapon pack up and not decommission them, get rid of them? Something not right, people. I mean, I see nobody really rush them on it. I mean, I see nobody question them on it. Not one person from the Gleaner, from Nationwide, from what they call them television, the PJB. Well, I can't even study them station in, but you have a lot of news outlet in Jamaica right now, you know. I tell you, you know, I never talk about this as bloggers them alone. But you have now, what's going on with all these arson have gone with them fine. 8 years now. As I'm saying, I'm not include PMP thing. Them in a power for 8 years. So we are deal with them. Because if I'm not about to deal with PMP, because them in power. So if they're gonna really sort out that mess and get rid of this gun, then all of the gun them the PMP did find must that the same place. So everything gonna get decommissioned anyway. So that's why I'm saying I deal with them because they've been in power for 8 years. So what's happening? Where are these guns? Who have the keys to these guns? Who have the keys to these guns? Eh? Who have the keys to these arson and ammunition and all them thing there? This is funny. This is not funny, you know. It's funny in a way, but it's really not funny. Because people are talking and going and nobody now ask them what, so they get a run. Why nobody now ask them who have the talk to ask them and raise this matter about this illegal arson? Because they don't deal with illegal thing, you know. Them burn it and that them fight against. And that him say. So why them have these illegal gun pack up and not decommission them? Because guns supposed to decommission every year, certain time of the year. I'm tired of that already, you know, make people feel better. And that would be part of the crime plan as well. You know what I mean? But I go stop beat on the road there, you know. Because something I've done with that. Because remember, you know, who have the key to defy these guns? Who control them? Do these guns going back on the street? It's happening already, you know. Remember, you know, people, it's happening already. Going to come on the street, when them check it out, it's supposed to be going to seize already, but it come back on the street. And I lie me, I tell it happened already. People can do the research and they will see what come up. So who to tell if this is a when I know a strategy for when I know something I go on with politician and illegal gun here, man. So all the matter about you're gonna come in and gonna come in. But if the same gun them walk whatever take over the street or go up on the street with all these corrupted police, anything can happen. And that me I talk about right now. Anything can happen. And you know, we cannot make me it's like me I get a dream, you know, I see them things that right before my eye, you know. I say, what happened? And the same gun, some of the same gun them I go on the street, you know. Because police is really hungry, crooked. And it's happening already. So who to tell you that happening constantly? Because it happened and it get find out, but now they're more careful and things will go on. But yeah, let me tell you something, man. Something I go on, you know. Something I go on with these illegal guns. They are going on back on the street. And that I might claim upon that. And nobody can tell me nothing. Because something is there. The market is there. It's a money making thing. Because it's a simple thing, you know. And America is supposed to really tell them that too. Why them not decommission these guns? Every year, my people can see it. A certain amount. That is enlightening the public. That is democracy. Yeah, that is where you're gonna see people really try to show and do the right thing. But we don't understand that. We don't understand it at all. I don't understand it. Because in the end of the day, this is fishy. Because me just feel to how these police corrupted. And remember, you know, gun thing, that's the money there, you know, it's like drugs, you know. Two big things that when it comes from money, you know. And police do anything to associate themselves with gangs And that, look, people have got to look into that, you know, and that me a job this, and people want to take a good look upon what me I say with this. All of these gun where these people are fine every day, and all these big fine from the war for this big machine, and them now decommission. Something I go on, man. Something I go on. When me looking at my crystal ball, you know, me see something I go on. And the whole of them know about it. Yeah, the whole of them know about it. No security no come out and say, well, then them a decommission gun. That's not supposed to happen, man. Anyway, me don't really want to stretch out this argument because you have now a sticky situation. A very sticky situation. So we are going to see what go on in the press briefing, and can pick the sense out of nonsense and the nonsense out of sense, because it have to be something behind the mirror, something hiding behind the mirror. I don't know is what, you know. But this is one big, big thing. If you don't know what I mean, you know, because I'm talking a parable sometime, you know. So if you don't know how I understand my parable, well, I don't know, but you know, you don't have to really get to understand how me talk and how me come with my commentary on any blog me I do. Because it might sound funny sometimes. When we check it, it's true. Something there behind the mirror what we can see pertaining to these illegal gun what come off of the street for all these years. And then the one, I never one place them there, or a two place, or a three place, but wherever it be, don't tell me say, well then, who have the key for it, who have access to it, who control them thing there, who have the book. You have a man of a head for everything, you know. One man or two man, or you have a pass or whatever, that's how it go. So you tell me, say no, go now go back on the street. And the same thing like these drugs that them find, you know. We don't see them decommission nothing. They find the drugs, right? They find drugs and all this fucking thing. How much $1 billion worth of drugs. Where the drugs there? Then decommissioning the drugs and burning the drugs? No. So you tell me no, people. Don't speak nonsense without sense, you know, sense without nonsense, you know. Again, me gonna me parable, you know, but you know, I don't know me I talk about. And see what me I say, you know. And a one and a two and a three big drug bust them find, you know. At Jamaica, you know. And at this government, you know. Nobody no go to jail, nobody no get old. And no drugs no get no exposed. No burn or destroy. That's no man, no, this is really, really sad. Me I go to the big pictures nowadays, you know. I don't know you idiot thing with these people, you know. So people can understand think what me I deal with. I see what me I deal with. I think like me. I don't want to think like me. I don't want to think on different levels. Well, good luck to you, know. I not beg you and ask you if you believe me or side with me. But you know, we'll see. Because we attack the right thing. And as far as me say, when you bore one of things and drill one of things, you must get explanation. Right? You must get an explanation from it. Because in the end of the day, big jugs are fine. Big jug bus. And we are talking about $1 billion. When I talk about the biggest that you will find at Jamaica, you know, and at this government, you know. I remember, you know, none of them drugs don't burn up, you know, in the public eye, you know. So them take people for idiot, you know. Nobody no go to jail, you know. All Fitzgerald come out and say the case still ongoing, and them because them know who, or them know this. Who them a try for, and you know, you're nothing but well, you know what, sometimes, you know, me can't bother, man. It break me heart. It's break me heart. If you see how these government operate and get away with it, And all the Jamaican people them go on like a fool and just take it like that. And no have no saying and nothing. Instead of them have saying anything, for them intentions is with us they're gonna get rich quick situation, no matter what happen. Boy, when I slide now some monarchy or some rascal thing, me don't know. Or honeyki. I don't well understand monarchy. Because monarchy is a part of a good thing. Well, not part of a good thing. Well, part of a good thing for some people anyway. Because me not a monarchy. Me not really deal with that side of the thing. Me not like it. Me a more Republican. Right? So I just say it go. But it a fall in anarchy. And that's all me can say. It not really pretty. Everything and people and who gonna suffer is the same taxpayers' money. And the people who pay the little tax out of what them earn and what them buy. I go pay for all these debts and all this shit. When them a guy are gone and drop flesh, them generation and family go reap it. I don't care do nothing about them again. Right? Them just come and just I never come do the same thing to another generation. Yeah man. Cause history go take its course. For them family come do the same thing with it. So Jamaica people now go better. We're gonna have those type of people all the while where we're surrounded by zinc fence. One room, tenement yard, dirty gutter water, outdoor style it. Because that's what they want, and that's what they must say the thing. They don't want somebody live up. That's why they give it China them all the land. And certain people can't get too much land one man have. You are going to all a place in the center and all them places there. Two sides of the road, hundreds of acres of land. Pure cow upon it. Pure cow and cow upon the two sides of the land. And you talk about prime land right side of the roadside, you know, where people, what you have now? Them the land down on a black man land. A backroom house, a place them there. But you know, as I'm saying, me not go keep on commentary all this thing, yeah, man, because it kind of drag me down right now by just talking this and doing this audio. Because some things you want to say, me not want to start. Because boy, me start it not go sound good. Because me really cross, hungry. Cross. Yeah, man. Because one simple thing. To work out and know several of them people. And that's why, you know, we don't bother going at the artists them who not talk up neither. Because that's one different thing, yeah, man. Because, you know what, this is not just a pure audio. We are talking about everything, visual and things. So, you know, without any further ado, I want to go on and keep on. Let's jump into the video. So first, let's take a look at Nasty Nesta Morgan photo up and really con artists about Wi-Fi in the community for the kids near a school. But here what up now? Those kids who go to that school, you know, people, they come from all different places, you know, long distance. So when them gone home and them gone back, you know, the woods where they come from, so they're not gonna have no access to Wi-Fi anyway. So that is just a con. And when them shouldn't helping people in rural area to have access with Wi-Fi hotspot, they try to do something like a cheap photo app type of situation with all these officially people is there and people. Why I tell you, these people know if you really go around poor people, you know. So I'm not buy that. That is just a sham. That not really benefit the kids them too tough, but it just make a charade over that, really. You know what I mean? So here goes.
See that? Our focus has to be on education. A big part of the reason why every single Wi-Fi hotspot is near a school is that we recognize that parents don't always have the money to buy credit to put on data. We think that if we situate the Wi-Fi in the community square close to a school, then students who have their tablets can go on their Google Classroom when they come in from school, and they can download the assignments so that they don't have to pressure their parents for data. The students in these communities deserve just as good and just as well as students in Kingston or any other built-up area, any other urban area.
Another young Jamaican, I believe he was 26 years old, wanted by the police. On our radar, we obviously have intelligence on him, but he felt that he was at large to hide himself in public, in a public passenger transport that is known to carry children, and the result this morning, well, last evening, is that or the evening before rather, two innocent young children, Justin Perry, 7 years old, and Nakolev Smith, 9 years old. There was also another youngster in the back of the car. For inches, he survived. I am not here this morning to stir up the nation into vengeance. But I think this country needs to stop sending mixed signals to criminals. They are not going to return any grace you give them. They are not reasonable people. They are terrorists, and they must be treated as such. What occurred is an act of terror. What is terror? It's a well-defined concept in law. It was clearly the intent to send a chilling signal. No matter where you are, who you are, or whether you're in public, or whether innocent people are around, they are going to kill you. And they will use any means to do it. They don't respect your human rights. They don't respect your dignity, and they have no concern, none whatsoever, for your safety and security. If we have not yet realized that in the pursuit of their limited and narrow objectives, they are also pursuing the destruction of our state. This is not what is acceptable in a free and democratic society. Where will it end? You will have noticed that the profile of our murders have changed in the last year. But you would have also noticed that the security forces have also improved and changed and grown and become far more adept at their jobs. They are bringing to the justice system criminals at a faster rate. They are doing excellent work in gathering evidence to put before our courts. There are still challenges because the system is an intelligent system. It is learning. There are challenges. We have resource gaps, but we are closing those. That was the case 10 years ago. Very complex cases, because we have made the investment in increasing both the numbers in our security forces, but more importantly, the capacity, particularly the integration of technology to improve our intelligence gathering, our detective and evidence gathering work, our community relations, our communications, our equipment, and our use of weapons. There's no question whatsoever that on any grading scheme, our security forces have improved significantly. And that is why you're seeing the containment and the gradual reduction, trending down in murders. But we notice this new profile of crime, that the criminals in an event of terror or a murder act, they are killing more people. So we have seen this spate of double, triple, and quadruple murders. It has to be studied. We can't make an assumption that as the police narrows the opportunity for the commission of crimes, the people who actually get the opportunity use it to increase the severity and barbarity of the crimes that they actually commit. Or it could be that our criminals now have more access to high-powered weapons that do more damage. It could be a number of things, and that is something that we have to investigate. But it could also be that there is intelligence directing the barbarity. And we must never overlook that there is organized violence in our community. Gang members whose sole existence is to create mayhem and chaos. And that, ladies and gentlemen, my Jamaican people, is the definition of terror. So today we are going to respond, not with vengeance, not with the dispensing of our dignity as a people, to maintain our laws and to show the criminals that we don't act like criminals, but to use the law with blunt force on them. We have been proposing to Parliament the increase in penalties for various crimes. And there has emerged a narrative which I believe is a naive narrative. It assumes a luxury that does not exist. Comparatively, our scheme of penalties for these crimes and these acts of terror is very light compared to other countries that we wish to compare ourselves to or aspire to be. If this happened in other free and democratic countries, the response would be clear and unequivocal. So, we have passed a new Bail Act, which does give new powers to deal with this challenge, particularly in controlling criminals who have come into the legal and justice system. We passed a new firearms bill, new Firearms Act. There has been some lack of clarity in its applications. The DPP has written to the relevant minister, I believe it would be the Minister of National Security, suggesting certain amendments. We have always felt that the penalties should be higher. But of course, there is this strong narrative that we should give protection to criminals. The penalties should be much higher than they are for the possession of illegal weapons. And so we will amend the legislation to remove any ambiguity or lack of clarity. I have given the directive to the Minister of National Security and the Minister of Justice that the amendment must be done before the end of the current session of Parliament. In other words, it must be completed before Christmas. There must be no ambiguity. Criminals must know that we are serious. The possession of a weapon must be treated with as the highest order of punishment. My own view on the penalty for murder has evolved. I was never a supporter of the death penalty. But the more I study this matter and begin to understand the minds of the criminals, there are no souls there. They have no heart. They need to be removed from among us. But I'm not here to get into a debate about the jurisprudence on this matter. But within the limits of that jurisprudence, I believe the highest penalty possible should be applied. And currently, the penalties now are not a deterrent. And there is an argument being put forward that somehow, if we increase the penalties, we will have overcrowding in our prisons, or people will not plead guilty and seek to use weaknesses in cases and our security forces to beat the charge, and that somehow there will be a backlog in our courts. There is validity in all of the arguments put forward. But I think those people who carry those arguments should be aware that Jamaica's incarceration rate is the lowest in the region. For a country that has so much crime, our incarceration rates are amongst the lowest. Could there be a correlation there? It needs to be studied. The assumption that somehow people are not going to take guilty pleas is an assumption based on the old perspective that we will not be able to build good cases. I wish to dispel that, as I have done before. Our investment in our forensic capabilities, our investment in our surveillance and intelligence capabilities, our investment in training our detectives would have demonstrated that we have the capability, and we are constantly honing that capability to bring airtight cases to our courts. We appreciate the judiciary in holding high standards so that we fulfill our obligations under the Constitution. And as a result of that, we are trying very hard. We don't always get it right. The Commissioner will tell you, the Minister of National Security will tell you that I'm on their cases all the time. but we are committed to making the investments to bring the cases. So we're not leaving any room on the table for criminals to believe that they will escape. Now is the time for the nation to speak in one clear voice to the soulless, heartless criminals amongst us. We are going to remove you from our community. Let us get the toughest measures in place. So I will call upon now Brigadier Lloyd to give, or Commissioner first, Commissioner, to make a presentation on the circumstances of the events that happened 2 days ago and the declaration of the state of public emergency.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning. So yesterday, a team of us, including the Deputy Prime Minister, Brigadier Lloyd, the acting CDS, myself, members of the police team in St. James, visited a couple of communities in St. James. And this was consequent on the murder of 3 persons in a taxi on November the 6th, which included 2 minors, a 7-year-old, Justin, and a 9-year-old, Nakalova. These children's parents were inconsolable when we went there. So this is not just about a statistic, another number and another person killed. These parents were inconsolable. They were asking themselves what could they have done differently to have prevented the killing of their children. So the children are the victims of a gunman, as the Prime Minister said, took an assault rifle and opened fire on a taxi, killing what seemed to be the intended target, but also penetrating that target and going and killing 2 small children behind it. Now, this follows a double murder in Salt Spring only a few days before, where the persons killed died in front of a small school in Salt Spring. This is a school that the JCF kind of adopted about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, you look at this man now, who they say is the Commissioner of Police, right? Google Gaga. Look at his speech, look at his nervousness, look at his delivery, right? For a commissioner. Just look at him. And look him come out and talking about now, because these 2 kids innocently lose them lives in the taxi, which was a tragedy, right? And we feel it for that, because little school kids them, and if parents them as well, how they might feel even up to the day. And you know, these people come out now, and what them do pre-reactive measure them come and take, they never really active to make it prevent it from happening, you know. In a mobile that are going for so long. And him come out now, I run up him mouth, look nervous, and what me can understand, look how much kids die innocently before that. Lot of kids can go to a few. You have that little girl throat cut at the school. He never come out and say nothing. Then again, you have that little boy, the Montego Bay, it happened to the Issa, where them say, well, then somebody stop the car right and lay, another woman fly gone back a foreign, and she don't want to give up her phone. A lot of things, all know nobody go to jail. They never come out and say nothing. You have little kid die, 9-year-old gunshot, reach them straight shot or whatever. But a lot, I just have on top of me head, me really at all, but there's a lot of kids lose them life innocently, little kids, just like these little kids, right? And they never come out and say nothing. So you only went and sued them because it happened in a month ago be and rated them have to come out, come deal with this and make something big out of it. Which is of course something is supposed to be big out of it. But they should be really active and preventing these things from happening. But when it happens now, them come out. You look at this guy, boy, I tell you, you know.
It is actually the epicenter of the peace-building arrangements in Salt Spring. And the people there had come to expect peace for the last 3 to 4 years. Now, Salt Spring, for those who know, was one of the more dangerous communities, probably in the country. And for 3 or 4 years, they had experienced peace. Now they had this incident occur, and the other incident that followed involving the 2 children. They're the illegal guns that are in the community continue to endanger the safety of our people. The criminal gangs that spread terror with little or no consideration for injury and loss of lives, even if it involves children. But there's a wider context to these killings. Someone knew before that the person was going out to shoot. Someone supplied the firearm and ammunition. Someone perhaps paid for it to be done. And someone is protecting that person now as we speak. Now, everyone in that group, everyone associated with it, owns a part of the death of those kids and a part of the misery and pain in the lives of those mothers and those communities. This and other communities will not be left to the mercies of these criminal terrorists. And the security forces have and will bring all the tools available to bear on the situation. St. James has been one of the more violent parishes in the country, with organized and highly violent criminal gangs, affiliates, and breakaway factions engaged in deadly inter- and intra-gang conflicts. As at November the 6th, the St. James Division recorded 167 murders and 100 shootings, the highest violent crime recorded in any police division, and it is down from where it was. It is down, but we're in nowhere near where it should be. When you add access to funds obtained through advance fee fraud or lotto scamming, the proceeds of the illegal drug trade and extortion, proceeds of which are used to purchase illegal guns, and other contract killings, it creates the conditions for what we're seeing. These are the circumstances that are fueling violent crimes. We've been arresting these criminal terrorists and violent offenders and disrupting and prosecuting criminal gangs and gang members. We have seized over 180 illegal guns in St. James alone, representing 30% of the country's total firearm seizure, which currently stands at 608 firearms seized since the start of the year. We've laid 916 firearm-related charges against 841 persons within the first year of the passage of the new Firearms Act. But despite this, the epidemic of violence persists at a scale and of a nature that greatly endangers the safety of communities and the vulnerable. As a consequence, and in consultation with the Acting Chief of Defense Staff, we requested that a state of public emergency be declared in the parish of St. James. We have seen the data. We have demonstrated through previous states of emergency that this methodology has been very effective in quickly reducing violent crimes. It's important to recall when the emergency powers were first brought into effect, St. James reductions in killings was 70%. We still have not and will not return to those days. An SOE at this time will allow us to optimize available resources, in particular the support from the JDF. This SOE will complement our suite of other policing activities that the Prime Minister mentioned, and our operations that have already begun to intensify ahead of the Yuletide season, as we surge in operations and in our deployments across the country. As we advance these strategies to reduce crime and violence across all police divisions, we'll continue to enhance our intelligence capabilities and improve the use of scientific approaches and technology in our investigations, which have already resulted in the rapid clear-up of complex cases. We will not allow these criminal terrorists to profit from the fear they create in communities. And as long as Jamaicans need us to keep them safe in their communities, we will continue to respond. There's an urgency to what we do as a society. It is on this basis that there is no place for reticence in using every tool at our collective disposal to staunch the bloodletting. In closing, I just want to reassure the public that while we conduct various operations in St. James, we will attempt to manage the impact on normal lives and activities and people going about their normal business. However, there's likely to be some disruption and delays, and we ask for patience and understanding. I also use this medium to appeal to persons residing outside of the boundaries of the SOE to advise us if you see persons turning up in your communities that you may have concerns about. We ask basically for the public support to increase the chances of our collective success. The public, as always, can contact us by calling the JCF tip line at 811, police emergency at 119, or Crime Stop at 311. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson. I would like to now ask Brigadier General Marklin Lloyd, Acting Chief of Defense Staff, to attend upon the platform.
Prime Minister, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Minister of Defense, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, the Honorable Horace Chang, other Ministers of Government, Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Jamaica, good morning. The Jamaica Defense Force supports the recommendation for the declaration of a state of emergency in the parish of St. James. Between January 1, 2023 and November 6, 2023, the St. James Police Division has cumulatively recorded the most murder and shooting incidents across Jamaica, primarily stemming from gang violence. The Jamaica Defense Force continues to pursue increased internal security deployments in support of the Jamaica Constabulary Force within the St. James Division. Over 11,000 deployments have been conducted since January 1, 2023. This marks our continued efforts towards maintaining peace and stability within the parish. With the additional infusion of authority from the SOEs, the joint force may better concentrate enhanced initiatives to specific criminal activities that have emerged within this space. I take this time to ask all our citizens, not just those living in the communities under this state of public emergency, to cooperate with the security forces. Lawlessness and criminality cannot continue unabated, and the JDF is committed to playing its part in the fight against crime. We urge you to join us in this fight by supporting the work of the security forces. Tell us what you know. Call the JDF tip line at 876-837-8255 8888 or Crime Stop at 311. Your cooperation is critical to the success of our mission. I take this opportunity to reiterate the JDF's commitment to working with the JCF and our citizens to create a safer Jamaica for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brigadier General Lloyd. I'd like to thank Nationwide News Network as well as CVM TV for carrying this post-cabinet press briefing live this morning. Also, you can watch on YouTube PBCJ as well as the social media channels of Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness. I would like to now welcome Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Horace Chang, to the platform.
Good morning, Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Prime Minister, my colleague, members of the Cabinet, the Chief of Defence Staff, Commissioner of Police, members of the press, the members of the security forces. Only yesterday we were in the district of Salt Spring. It's a district I know well, and I've seen many, unfortunately, very brutal criminal violence activity in that district. But for the last 12 months in particular, we have seen a significant decline in that community based on active work by the security forces, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, and other intervention by the private sector. However, in the last 10 days, we have seen an outbreak of very brutal violence. It started some days ago, the murder of another young man and his girlfriend. That particular incident resulted from one young man who had gotten bail, having been charged with a double murder in the parish of Westmoreland. He was also traveling in a public transportation, a taxi. And the taxi was intercepted at a school in Salt Spring, a small primary school, which we have seen, which is occupied by young children from the area, but in particular the district of Flower Hill. And I've seen some very good work being done to guide the students of that area. And they witnessed the brutal slaying of a Jamaican citizen and his partner. Out of that flowed another murder in Flower Hill, and a young man was killed to be allegedly associated with that particular incident. And the end result was, of course, on Monday evening, it was another brutal murder took place in which a young man was attacked and killed, but within that taxi was three children, 3 Jamaican children, 3 young boys, all under 10, attending a well-known school in Montego Bay, being taken home by a taxi that is known to take home children. In fact, this is a common cultural practice in rural Jamaica where the children of working parents tend to be taken to school by special taxi operators. It's not an unknown or unusual activity. The gentleman, in fact, had taken his own daughter to live at his home and was returning to the district where the students reside and would be taking them to their home. They're small kids, 7, 8, and 9. 2 of them were taken away from us brutally by a man using an automatic weapon. This, in fact, was an act of terrorism, frightening and inspiring fear in our community. This kind of activity, despite of reduction in some activity in crime, seems to be of increasing activity in some of our communities. The JCF data confirmed that there has been a sustained reduction in major crimes across the country.
Yeah, you look at this guy, Chicky Chang, Horace Chang, come up with all him crap now. Because what we notice in a Jamaican politician, security force, they just deal with reactive all the while. They never proactive. And that's all they do. Because he come now and talk about how this press conference when they talk about them two little youth that were dead. I'm up being at the taxi, young little school youth them. And remember, a lot of small youth, 10-year-old youth get him throat cut. Remember the Issa, the woman was driving and talk about she going a patrol and people lie. At them kill little youth. Everybody know that. But none of them never come out and say nothing. The girl who get her throat cut, like a school girl, none of them never come out and say nothing. There's so much like a youth die in Jamaica, none of them no come out and say nothing. But now they come out and this one because in this guy a constituency, Montego Bay. So then come and attack something. So they come with them crap again. Yeah, with them preactive shit. Well, not preactive, reactive shit them come with and never try to prevent it. And they come now and then check the people are going to really believe what them saying. They're not saying nothing. Them not saying nothing, people, because that's all they do all their life, nothing else. Just reactive. Never try to prevent the thing, right? And proactive. And they come with that shit all the while and take people for idiot. And me not understand that. And come with them pretty talk and things like that. Look how these guys, Chucky Chang, Chaka Chang, I just call him Chaka Chang, because I remember, WikiLeaks have a lot of things from him. He's not a safe guy, but them all have them secret. And it's once them secret I go on the gravy train I go run good. Nobody now, you see, you look like the Labour Party really unite. But then what? Them unite in a corruption. And that's all unite is all about. That's why Horace Chang can't get sacked. You have the Commissioner of Police. Him don't know nothing about police. He wasn't at the army. And him come out of the army now. I don't know if him and Andrew used to go to school together, whatever. But I'm friend. So I say, look, I'm going to eat some food, Yeah, man, just come over here, something like that. And I find him to be Commissioner of Police. He don't do fuck all. Him can't talk. Him look like a clown. Him look like a go-go gaga. The guy is just so stupid. I don't know who no really employ him in any business at all to run a business. But and put him and Chan together, look upon them out and look together. Two big clown who responsible for security in Jamaica. Look at that. It's not look good, people. And people just take it lightly. Well, me not take it lightly. Me have to come out and sing my Sankey. Yeah, man, and bore my wall, drill my wall, yeah. So, all right, there, so. Let's listen him again. Old Chicky Chang. Chaka Chang.
In this last quarter is a result of some strategic investment by the government in strengthening and modernizing the security forces. We are better trained, better resourced, better equipped, and technology-enabled police force. Consequent on these investments, the police are able to respond much faster and operate based on accurate and actionable intelligence. Indeed, criminals therefore have to sought to become more dynamic to avoid the police. Hence, a significant increase in what is drive-by shootings and the use of automatic weapons attacking an individual wherever he is, and therefore significant increase in what we call killing of innocent citizens. So we have seen increase, triple and quadruple murders in the last few weeks, months in particular. The event in Salt Spring was, of course, not only heart-rending, but touched the emotion of the entire nation as we saw 2 children. And that was preceded by another incident in the corporate area where 3 individuals were killed, including a little girl. It is unfortunate that it is this kind of brutality that had to shake us again as a country. And I would hope that the entire nation would respond to the Prime Minister's call for unison in attacking these brutal criminals that will seek to terrorize our communities. And this kind of drive-by shooting in which individuals are, one individual may be targeted, you find that many innocent bystanders, as anybody else could have been in that taxi beside a child, or anyone standing on the shop either, playing a game of domino, or just in fact relaxing in the district, could be killed by this kind of activity. This kind of criminal activity threatens the stability of our communities, incites fear, and puts at risk the social and economic gains we have made over the last 6 years. They are murdering our children and our senior citizens. They are heartless, brutish criminals who are terrorizing our citizens. The government and the leadership of Prime Minister Honis will continue to make strong and decisive action to contain, apprehend, and bring criminals to justice. We'll provide the security forces with the required resources, fiscally and legally, to apprehend, to hunt, find, and apprehend these criminals. There will be no hiding place in Jamaica, I can assure you. The leadership of the security forces are determined, they are talented, and they are committed. And I want to assure the country that there will be no hiding place for any of them. We'll find them, and we'll bring them out, one way or the other. The nature of criminal activity in Jamaica has changed significantly, I said. They have taken to more dynamic action, but so too we have, in fact, equipped the police force. The government will do whatever it takes within the ambit of the law to secure the lives of Jamaicans, to provide good order, to retain safety, and ensure that we can continue to develop our society in an orderly manner. The security forces, led by the Commissioner, and the Jamaica Defense Force Chief of Staff will pursue these criminals, apprehend them, and bring them to justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister. We will be opening the floor to about 5 minutes of questions, as PM has a previous engagement shortly. Prime Minister, we're asking if you could attend up on the podium.
You're assuming that the questions are for me.
Brigadier, could you stand beside the PM?
Yes.
Minister of National Security, could you stand there? Also, Commissioner of Police, could you stand beside the Minister of National Security? Naomi,
yes.
Our Press Secretary, will manage the question and answer segment.
Thank you, Minister. We ask that the members of the media identify themselves, including those who have orders of extinction.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Arthur Hall from Jamaica Observer. PM, it's unfortunate. I was here in December when you declared a state of emergency for St. James. I was back in May when there was a state of emergency, December 2022. I was back in May 2023 when a state of emergency was declared for St. James. I was back in June 2023 when a state of emergency was declared for St. James. PM, this seems to be the response, an immediate response to the flare-up in St. James, and then it quiet down, and then my friends in Salt Spring and Salem and Flankers and Gully get murdered again as soon as the state of emergency is done. PM, is this just a knee-jerk reaction to the death of the 3 people, including 2 young boys, and this is supposed to say to the nation we are doing something?
Thank you for that question, Arthur. And I quite like the characterization that you have set up for me to destroy. The government must respond. And the fact that these things keep recurring is more so a testament to the nature of the beast that we tackle. It is also very clearly demonstrating that when we act and we are not supported in action by the extension of the emergency powers to finally bring to heal the beast, then the problem continues. You will recall that in 2018, the murder rate in St. James rose to levels that were far past countries at war. We instituted a state of public emergency with the support of the opposition We had several extensions, and we brought the murder rate down by over 300. The states of public emergencies declared that you refer to were for 14 days because we did not have the support of the opposition in using these emergency powers to deal with the beasts of crime, the terrorists that are affecting us, operating under an illusion that somehow they will find God in their hearts and that they will be merciful on the people. We are faced with an existential threat by these terrorists. And so we need to rid ourselves of the illusion that somehow these criminals are going to find salvation in their heart and mercy for the people. They are a threat to our national security. They are a threat to your safety. And we need to be persistent and consistent in the measures that we put in place. We need to rid ourselves of the ambivalence in the message that we have been sending. Who is to be blamed for this when the government has been reacting and responding, but cannot get the support of the opposition in putting in place the measures? We have put in place the laws. We can't go any further than the courthouse. We have given the police all the resources that we can out of our budget with other competing needs. And every time there has been an action, this government has not been flat-footed. We have been responsive. Gruesome, barbaric crimes have been committed. And our police have been there using the tools, using the law, investigating complex crimes, enterprise-level criminal activity. But there is a lack of recognition that after decades of underinvestment in our police force and our national security apparatus, after decades of a poor performing economy, after decades of a poor performing education system that continues to turn out persons who become members of gangs, after the breakdown of our social institutions, our family, we are just now at the point where we are recovering our economy, we are investing in rebuilding our social institutions, transforming our education system, growing our economy, investing in our national security. It will not change overnight. But we must be persistent and deliberate in putting forward and seeing through the measures that will bring to heel the beasts that are loose in the land. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
No, that's fine. I'll take another question.
Al has the other.
Hello, good morning, Prime Minister. Good morning, gentlemen. Prime Minister, you said it yourself. You said it was a beast that had to be tamed. And we see the rationale and necessity behind the state of emergency, given it does pose an existential threat. Prime Minister, isn't the time come now where you have to put more infinite resources behind crime fighting, employ more police personnel, more army personnel, and get people to back them? What's your thoughts on that? And may I just come up with a follow-up question? In light of what's happened, Bobby Montague talked about this El Salvador model. It's kind of ridicule for it. What are your thoughts, and does he have a point?
All right. Again, thank you for that question. I'm going to take some time, permit me, because it is a multi-layered question. and has to be answered very carefully. When this administration took over the reins of leadership of the country, one of the first area of focus was on national security. Before we implemented the state of public emergency, we created the zones of special operations. It was designed as almost a test run to give our security forces the ability to use force without violence, to use force in a structured, proportionate, restrained, dignified, strategic way. And that involved improvement in training, mainstreaming human rights, improving the resources. But I don't know if it has been said often enough because the question keeps coming. This administration has also increased its recruitment and training, and it has now put itself in a net positive position in terms of being able to bring in more persons into the force than are leaving the force. So we have expanded the JCF. Similarly, we have expanded the JDF through the Jamaica National Service Corps, and we plan to even further expand. So we now have, in terms of a force, we have more boots to place on the ground. But it is still not sufficient, given the level and magnitude of the criminal problem and challenge that we face. So yes, we have been increasing our capabilities relative to the level of criminal activity in the country, but we are not at the level where our resources supersede the criminal activity, particularly in certain areas. So it's good that we have more policemen that we can place in communities. But there are other areas that we need to expand rapidly. For example, we need more detectives. If you were to take New York City, for example, I don't know what the statistics is, but I would suspect that they would have 3 times the number of detectives they have on force than we do. And they probably have 1/3 of the murders that we have. That's the kind of disproportionate position that we are in terms of resources to the magnitude of the problem. But yet, there is an expectation that with the resources that we have, we can deal with the problem that exists without increasing resources and increasing the powers to address it. The use of the state of public emergency is what you call a force multiplier. We are using the existing manpower to increase their capabilities. So we bring the army on in a structured and synergetic way. We give more powers to deter, to intervene and intercept. And that gives some respite for detectives to be able to do their work, for intelligence services to work, and to give safety and security to the people. We have always said that this is not going to be a long-term measure, but as long as the problem is greater than our capacity, we will have to use it. And we have been using it quite strategically. I'm not saying that we have used it perfectly. We obviously are always seeking to improve it so that in the use of these emergency powers, we don't violate the rights of citizens. Now, you mentioned the El Salvador model. First, let us be clear that Jamaica and El Salvador have 2 different constitutional arrangements and jurisprudence. So immediately we start off on 2 different planes of possibilities. But let it not be said, and let it be clearly understood, that the results of the El Salvador model is that their murder rate has gone from the highest in the region to now, within a matter of months, a year or 2 years now, they're now the lowest in the region. I make no comments as to what the impact of that is on their society. I don't know, time will tell. But I don't hear anyone complaining other than outsiders. I don't hear any massive demonstrations in the society about violation of human rights or whatever. Has not come to my attention. But what has come to my attention is that the society, by and large, feels free. They feel safe because the criminals amongst them have been removed. Now, can Jamaica do that? You know, my view is that our constitutional arrangements would not support that. That's my view. But one thing is clear, that if the criminals continue along the path that they are, they will move the social and conscience perspective of the society more towards calling for extreme measures, because that's what happens. If people can't get law to keep them secure, they're going to call for order. Typical. If you can't get law, people settle for order. So it's important that as we face this challenge, we here use the law to be able to overcome this challenge. And we see it happen all around the world. So it's absolutely important that as we debate these matters, we ensure that we come down on the side of quick action, that we change our laws, that we improve the resources so that we can be able to preserve, ultimately, what defines us as a free and democratic society.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Our final two questions then on that side.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jamila Maitland from TVJ. PM, you said that you don't come. This is your first time here, so I'm hoping I can get a 2-for-1 special, Mr. Morgan. My first question is that, Prime Minister, your statutory declarations have not been certified by the Integrity Commission. The implications of this goes far and wide. Why hasn't it been certified, and does the public have anything to be concerned about? And two, Jamaica didn't vote at the UNGA about the humanitarian truce, yet or...
Jamila, you would appreciate that this is for the state of emergency.
Well,
and
PM,
so
you don't
those are
come
the
here-
questions that we're entertaining at this time.
Are you giving...
Do you have questions on the state of emergency for St. James?
Well, PM, we don't see it very often, so...
Please, let her answer the question, because
And just one more before you go. We didn't vote at the UNGA, yet our reason for not voting is really a vote toward the humanitarian truce. Why didn't we not vote publicly? And is there any regrets right now to vote for the humanitarian truce, and that's between the fight in the war against Israel and the Hamas rulers? That's it.
Well, firstly, I think that it is not fair to say that you don't see me often. Because we have met up on several tours and other occasions. The post-cap, just to be clear, the post-cabinet press briefing is for the ministers and the various portfolios. And I want to be clear that on all important matters, my government does provide the opportunity for information to be dispensed to the public and for our ministers to be questioned. And I'm very happy that the post-cabinet is being conducted routinely and consistently. As it relates to my integrity declarations, I too am concerned that they have not yet certified them. They have written to me asking various questions. I have provided answers, and they have written to me again, and I'm in the process of providing those answers. You will, however, appreciate that it does take some time, and particularly for me, to get 2 or 3 days to go through matters and provide answers. I simply have to be very frugal with my time. And I suspect the same for the Integrity Commission, that have to go through several thousands of declarations. But I would expect that they would give some priority to my declarations. I do hope to be able to respond to them before the end of this week. So I'm hopeful that they would do their work and provide the nation with the necessary certification. To be clear, I have tried not to comment on the issue because I find myself in an invidious position in that I have to protect and defend most times the institutions of the country. So my silence should not be interpreted as not wanting to address it, but I do have another role, and that role is to protect and to defend the institutions, the laws that we have put in place. So I'm hopeful that in short order, this matter will be resolved. By the way, you should also know that it is quite routine that the Integrity Commission will write to persons over and over again. And there would be several persons whose statutory declarations are not certified because they are in this continuous process of asking questions and trying to make determinations. My situation, obviously, would be public, and therefore it would cause some concerns. And so I accept and I acknowledge that. But it would not have been the first time that the Integrity Commission would have taken a long time to resolve my matters. And I suspect that as Prime Minister, they would want to be very detailed in what they do. I would hope that there is no difference in my treatment than given to others. And I really do not, I would not want to think so. And your other question, again, Shamil, I want to thank you for the opportunity to answer the question and to destroy the falsehoods that have surrounded. When it comes to Jamaica's foreign policy, we handle it very carefully. There are those who are trying to suggest that somehow our foreign policy and position globally has been diminished. If we were to look at the facts, Jamaica has never been on so many international platforms than I have been on, and this administration has been on, than any other administration before.
Yes, the Prime Minister say, oh, this guy lie, he just tell lie and talk things where just come out of his mouth like a win, arrogant and everything. Him said there's no other Prime Minister ever travel the place where him travel and go the place where him go and meet so much different diplomat and whatever out of Jamaica. Lie. Because remember, him go Israel. Israel Prime Minister never invite him, He go upon some trade thing or whatever, Boots in trade with this guy leeching or something. So but never invite him, they don't even want to talk to him, but him push up himself and try to make friends for some reason. I don't know if him try for a look place to hide when things come down upon him to go seek asylum or something. Jamaica and Israel now have nothing in common too tough. He's the first Prime Minister ever go to Israel. Look at that. Nobody ever invite him. There's no trade between Israel and Jamaica. Far. That's one of the country where far, even South Africa have 10 times more relationship with Jamaica more than Israel. So what's the brother talk about? Nobody else. Rate and Lele. Lie. Anyway, let's continue.
And I challenge them. Why is that so? Because Jamaica has maintained a principled and consistent foreign policy. Because Jamaica has also operated in a strategic way in making sure that we also look out for our national interest. On the situation in the Middle East between Israel and the Palestinians, we are friends of both peoples. And we are very distressed, saddened, and concerned about the innocent loss of life, particularly the killing of children who have no part or cause in a conflict. In the same way that we speak unequivocally about the killing of innocent children in Jamaica who have no part in a conflict.
Yeah, man, this guy is dangerous, you know. Yes, man, I talk about now, children here are dying in Palestine. And I talk like him really feel it. Just look at his impression as a con man, right? And yet him talk about Israel is our Jamaican friend. I don't know where to get that from. But stick to the point where I say, well, in Palestine, kids are dying. But yet, him never vote. Him abstain to please the Israeli people. Believe you me. That's what him do. And now people put the question to him. Him a flatter and a butter with himself. And make himself look stupid people. Believe you me. This man have no moral at all. Or nothing about him when it come to kids. Because the two kids were there get shot up a month ago being at the taxi. When him come out now, he just try to just photo up and thing like that. How much kids will die before them, right? When they never come out and say nothing. Remember the little girl that get her throat cut? But this no, because it's just, I don't know what I do, pre-react or whatever. I don't know, but it's just they just some people have to look on and say, them not real. Them not real, you know. That's all it is. They have to come out, you know. They have to come out. Pre-reactive. They come out with that shit. Yeah, they have to come out. That's all they look for good for and nothing more. Because they don't, anything they must say, they don't mean a word of what them saying. They just talk, yap, and that's all it is. And if sensible people can't look into that. Because, to be truthful, look how much kids dying in Palestine. Innocent kids. Right? And him still try to balance it up. He must have follow America's stand, you know. That's all him is, you know. And that's all him doing. And trying to back it up. Him have an intention and a proposition for really make a different vote with the CARICOM people, them, like the rest of Caribbean, them. But no, him abstain, and them not try to make excuse now. Abstain. So him right now, that going and they benefit the Israelian, and the Israeli. What a shame. What a shame. And him now come and justify it without no means. Can him think empty what I talk about. Yeah, man. Just listen to him. Anyway.
We're very concerned always about any act that could be considered terrorism on any state. In the same way, we are concerned here about acts that could be considered terrorist acts in our own country. And so we speak very clearly on those issues. I believe a humanitarian pause is necessary in Gaza. The images that are being broadcast all over the world, and my own research into the subject and the information that we receive. I have friends on both sides. Jamaica has a Palestinian community. I noted their peaceful protests earlier, Jamaica also has a Jewish community. We have been petitioned by both. Jamaica has voted many times in support of the Palestinian cause, and we have also voted in support of matters to do with Israel, because on both sides there are claims that could be justified. We don't want to see innocent people die, and that is our position. It is indeed, obviously, an unfortunate circumstance that we did not get to cast a vote, physically make the vote. But as you have said, everything that we have said and done, including delivering a statement on behalf of CARICOM and helping to craft and word and draft the statement, suggests that that would have been our vote. That someone would then seek to make an issue of it. I think it's an extreme in the position. So the consideration is being given, obviously, to see if that position can be rectified post the vote, because we would not want it to be a continued distraction from what we intend to be our position, which is quite clear. That our position is we supported the humanitarian interventions for the Palestinian people. So on that matter, I think we should be careful that we don't seek to destroy our own interests by making, extreme comments and allegations regarding our foreign policy.
Bobby asked me why I think Jamaica not participating on the crisis in the Middle East. Listen, Jamaica already participated. The politician, the Prime Minister did already say something from the initial start. But the people them with bash Andrew Woolney say, why am I getting involved for? Because they know him still tight and the people them still bash him. But the people them bash him, them beat him like wow, them say if him not have enough problem at Jamaica, why him going to take up Middle East problem pan him head for? And when him still tight, the people them say why him still tight for? But I can't say much still because I talk them, I go say me a JLP.
Prime Minister, thank you. And we did say one final, so we'll give it to Mr. Brooks.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Ricardo Brooks, Nationwide News. Considering that the matter of the constitutionality of the routine use of these states of emergency is to be inquired into by the courts, isn't your continued use of the measure improper without receiving constitutional guidance from the judiciary? And regarding your statutory declarations, if the Integrity Commission continues to delay the publishing, would you commit to independently having them audited and releasing them yourself?
That's a very good question. I've not contemplated having them audit. I do have to prepare, for example, financial statements. It would not be a challenge to have them audited. But I don't think it would, it would probably be useful, but it's still important to have them certified by the Integrity Commission. On the other question related to the constitutionality, the matter is before the courts, but the courts have not ruled that they are unconstitutional. And the persons who are asking that question should also answer, what would you have the government do? Should we stand back? Should we allow more innocent people to be killed? Should we leave it to chance? Would that amount to a dereliction? I think the people who are asking those questions should answer that. I need to fulfill my oath to the people that I will act in their best interest to keep them safe. And I think the Jamaican public would see demonstrably that this government has acted and continues to act and will do what is necessary within the law, unless declared otherwise, to keep them safe. Thank you.
Prime Minister, thank you. And
No
to the
questions for
security
Commissioner,
chiefs.
the acting chief.
Well,
I was inviting the questions.
we can take questions to the other members, but Prime Minister really has to leave now. So Naomi, if you may, we'd like to thank Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, for his first, but I know will not be the last attendance to post-cabinet press briefing. Thanks, Prime Minister. Naomi, you may take some other questions with, if members of the media have questions for the Minister of National Security, the Acting Chief of Defense Staff, or the Commissioner of Police. It won't be long, just a few minutes.
Yes, thank you, Minister. There are a few, so we'll just go around the room for them. Security Chiefs, Commissioner and CDS and Minister, if you could go back up. I believe Arthur, Al, and Jamila do have some questions. Let's start again with Arthur.
Yeah, my question is for the Minister of National Security and Deputy Prime Minister. Dr. Chang, it is clear that opposition is not going to support the extension of the state of emergency. One thing the opposition has repeatedly proposed is the enhanced security measures legislation. That's in your chambers. Why we haven't taken that legislation to Parliament yet?
Well, first of all, the state of public emergency is a particular legislative tool we intend to use where violence reaches a certain level. Enhanced security measures and those different concept, and I'll come back to it. The view of the security forces, and from the only assessment and detailed intelligence report I've been given, the activities in St. James justifies that kind of extreme measure. We will look at the history of the security social state of public emergency in St. James. When it started, I think the Prime Minister alluded to it, we were at 343 murders, which meant that St. James had over 100 murders per 100,000. That was a fact of history. State of public emergency, we brought it down to by 70%, and what we're doing now is to ensure that when there's a spike, we intervene before it begins to get to those levels again. We appreciate that short-term measures allowed to use the state of public emergency only for 14 days will mean that we can cauterize immediate action, but it takes a longer imposition to ensure we can have longer-term effect. It should be noted, however, that even a current station in Jamaica, that the murder rate has been increasing throughout the Latin American Caribbean region in the last 2 years in particular. Some refers to the increased production of cocaine in the production areas and increased trading in narcotics, as well as within those cocaine, fentanyl, as well as the increased advanced fee fraud activity in Jamaica. The trend is up, and in Jamaica we have been able to reduce that trend. Not where we want to be, not one we're going to shout victory about, where homicide is some between 10 and 12% down, while other criminal activity in the region are 25% down. We see the use of the state of public emergency as a critical element in saving lives and restoring order in certain communities. The concept of enhanced security measures is something that the lawyers have to go through. Bear in mind, but the term, there was not an enhanced security measure bill. The government undertake to institute enhanced security measures in legislation, and several pieces have been done. The new Bail Act is what we would consider an enhanced security bail act. The Firearms Act, all those actions, several other pieces of legislation. There is call for a specific measure that would give the security forces elements of the state of public emergency that would strengthen their hands without going to a state of public emergency. The laws have not been able to settle at a level that the security force can feel comfortable with, and that satisfy the policy outline we have given to them. And that's a matter that I cannot go beyond.
Next question then can come from Al, and then we'll go on that side.
Good morning again, gentlemen. This question is primarily directed towards the police commissioner, and you can jump into, Minister. But you heard the Prime Minister say that the #1 priority for any government is the welfare of its citizens, and he's right. Given that fact, and he mentioned about resources, have you gone to the Prime Minister, or is in your mind a set figure of what you need to get on top of crime? And should we start thinking about a certain percentage of the budget going towards taming the beast, as he called 30%. it?
Okay, so let me just take the path about sufficiency. So clearly, as the Prime Minister articulated, we are in the process of increasing the size of the force. Even when we initially instituted our emergency, state of emergency, there's always a sense of building the force capability whilst you use this measure to save lives. Now, one of the questions is, how many lives do you need to save to make it worth it? That's a separate question. In the meantime, we had to develop within the police force the ability to actually recruit and train enough people to start to increase our numbers. On average, we lose about 400 or so people a year. At one time, we were training 400, and so we stood still. We moved from a single training facility, and over the years, and including during the COVID years, we expanded that capability to have 4 training facilities and to be able to turn out 1,250 officers a year. And these aren't just an increase in numbers, but in terms of the qualifications of the people joining. And we're getting a lot more people who have other options. But I believe that a career in policing can be very rewarding, particularly if these youngsters who are coming in have access to tools and technologies to be able to deliver policing service to the level that they expect, that they see elsewhere. Those things have increased the attractiveness of the organization. And apart from that, obviously, our outreach to our public has assisted in that. At the moment, or traditionally, we've had an establishment of about 14,000. One of the first things we did on looking at the establishment was using a very scientific way, determined how many people we need, and it's just over 18,000. So we add between 800 and 900 persons a year, and that's what we'll continue to do until we reach these established levels that will give us enough persons to pervade the country properly. And when we layer on top of that the various technologies that are available and are becoming available, the combination of that should allow us to police without necessarily having extraordinary measures.
Thank you, Commissioner. Minister?
I could add to that. When you took government, there are a number of things you have to answer when you ask these questions. One, we had 11,000 officers at that time. We are now near 14,000. But beyond that is that the police force and leadership, Minister Anderson, have gone through a study that indicates where we should be. Prior to that, you had many calls of put more boots on the ground, do more, without any kind of objective analysis. In fact, that was another thing that restrained our initial investment. While we made it a priority, our investment will start to take root for 2019 after a year of analysis, so that you know what we wanted to go. There was very little done prior to that, examine what kind of police force we needed and what numbers we needed. The commissioner have indicated somewhere near 18,000, although the establishment was 14,000, we're at 11,000. Or less sometimes. Secondly, activities to provide the police force with the equipment required. There was no kind of indication. Vehicles were bought when the mobile patrol literally shut down. You buy some and you put them on the road again. I've indicated that for police force to operate efficiently, we should acquire operationally at least 600 vehicles. We're not quite there yet. The reality is that we had 3 fiscal years of constraint on our investment, although we did invest significantly in the security forces then. The COVID years ensured that we had to direct increased resources to a clear and present danger that existed with the pandemic. So our commitment and our policy is clear. And that just indicate that training, strong leadership, and strong security force personnel, professionals, that's what they are. It's not a matter of just putting a police uniform and a gentleman and put them in a building and call it a police station. We took a position to establish some strategic development, both in the police and the army. Army had a clear vision going down. The police has established its direction and strategic development under this leadership. So there was no idea what a police station, for example, was find a building, make sure not leaking, put the police in there. A police station is a professional, functioning institution. It must be designed to suit the police. That's one of the first things we did. I walked into a police station in Portland, the commissioner, and just looked at it. This is not functional. A police station must be so designed. We have, in fact, sought to repair and overhaul all our police stations, all 186 facilities across the island. The job is not complete, but we are well on the way, and we'll continue that program. The government's commitment is not wavering. We will, in fact, build a police force that will have the resources and the strength to maintain law and order. Until then, we have to use extraordinary forces and continue to engage the Jamaica Defense Force in support of the police, because the safety and lives of our citizens is the #1 priority.
Thank you, Minister. I believe we have one final one, and then we'll wrap this side up.
Morning again, Jamila from TVJ. My question is to Dr. Chang and for the Commissioner. There was a recent Indicom report about 14 people dying in police lockups. 10 of them was because they were sick. What does the police have to say about this? Indicom is saying the police can't be using the lockups as for prolonged usage when there is an institution for that. And 2, with the SOE now, a lot of people are predicting more persons will be detained, and we already have overcrowded lockups. How does the police plan to address this?
Overcrowding is a relative issue, and I'll answer that. As the Prime Minister indicated, and I have repeated on many occasions, we have a very low incarceration rate. Our lockups, of course, are a number of people, but the Indicom report, if you look at it thoroughly, just 14 people over a pretty prolonged period. In fact, we have one of the lowest levels of death in lockups or in prison in the region. That's a fact. If not the lowest, it's one of the lowest. So I think that should begin from there. 10 years. 10 died, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But over a period of time, that would reflect that we have one of the lowest levels among the incarcerated in the region. So while we speak of the highest amount of homicides, we also have the lowest level in our prisons. That's a fact. Clearly, people are sometimes detained who are ill, and you can have incidents where they died. I think we looked through I in fact read the report thoroughly, and there was nothing in there to suggest negligence by the police officers. Clearly, when anyone is detained, they have to retain the lockups before they go to the correctional service. That's just the nature of jurisprudence and the criminal justice system. But I agree, it is not a job that the police look forward to, and one that we may have to review as we go forward. Commissioner, may wish to comment on it.
2 points today. One, it's unfortunate when anybody dies in a lockup. We generally have about 2,000 people, just under 2,000 in our lockups across the country, in custody, some for a long time. People on remand who unfortunately haven't or can't be transferred to the correctional service to keep them in remand. So they remain with us, about just under 2,000. At the highest point of a state of emergency, back in 2018, I believe it was, only 15% of our entire lockup population, or 10% as a matter of fact, was actually in detention. The rest were there for remand, for all the other reasons that they're still there. So as a percentage of our total lockup population, the states of emergency don't add that much to it. And obviously, one of the things, the people who don't need to be in lockup, we try to get them out. Some of them are even persons who just won't or can't take up bail. So they remain with us until such time. Some of those, in some cases, we may go back to the court and ask them to revise the conditions, because really we don't want to hold people who we don't need to hold. We need to make enough space for those who we must hold and need to keep. But it is a challenge. It is a challenge for us. And it actually diverts quite a bit of resources to just manage that many prisoners. So that's where we're at.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Commissioner and CDS acting. Minister Morgan.
Very much, Naomi. Want to give a special thank you to our Prime Minister, who is no longer here. Want to thank Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Horace Chang, also Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, Brigadier General Lloyd, also representatives from the Ministry of National Security, the Office of the Prime Minister. I mean, too many to mention. Thank you all for attending here today. Also members of the media and those who are listening and watching on More FM, on CVM TV, and on other stations, as well as on social media. This has been Post-Cabinet Press Briefing until next week, 11. Well, I made a mistake this morning saying that we're in September. Can't believe the year is finishing so early. So until next week, 8 a.m. on Wednesday for another Post-Cabinet Press Briefing. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, for watching, and for listening. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
A big sound, a play a big tune. Jah holy Emmanuel, I boy. Jah Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. Well, Gideon go busting out them head again. So much oppression poor people face right now. Them crying out for freedom. Them crying out for free speech. Then said them want to stand up like them black liberators, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther and the ancient monarchy where come pave the way, sir. Free up black people from me tear down them fence, yeah. Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon. The Gideon, I'm a Gideon, well, the Gideon go busting out them head. I listen, I the power of the Trinity. Give us the teaching of His Majesty, and we know want no devil philosophy. Not until level for man's skin is of no more significant well to the color of his eye. Remember all the war done in 1935.
This is Sticky Stucky Sweet TV with Keith Gargan. Good, healthy food with the X Factor. So give it a like, share, subscribe, and touch up that notification bell. And that is it. Look at